Now, typically, not only do opposites attract in the sense of men and women are different, but opposites attract in other things too. One of you is late for everything, and the other one is on time. Have to be on time for everything. You have to be early for everything. One of you was up at 6 o'clock in the morning going, we have to get over there. We want to get a good seat. We have to get over there. I want to get a good parking place. Did you see the parking? Oh, I've got to get a good seat. And the other one's going, look, they're not going to really say anything important for the first hour anyway. You know? It's that way at our house. I have to be on time for everything. I'm like the nerd of the family, right? My wife, it doesn't matter. She'll get there sometime. It's okay. And, you know, when our kids were little, we lose our religion getting ready for church. And one Sunday, she used this line that Steve and Annie Chapman, friends of ours that do ministry to the family, use. Steve's got a great sense of humor, and she used it on me. She said, this Sunday, why don't we trade places? You get the kids ready, and I'll go out in the driveway and honk the horn. Opposites attract. One of you's in here burning up right now, and the other one's freezing to death. You ever have those thermostat wars at your house? It's not cold. Yes, it is. It's not cold. Yes, it is. And back and forth. I threatened to get one of those locking glass things over it like you have at the office, you know. Just keep your hands off of it. The concept of a thermostat is it adjusts itself, you know. And now I'm hot, now I'm cold. And we're back and forth, opposites attract. One of you's a spender, one of you's a saver. And that's a good thing. You need each other. You spenders need a saver in your life so you don't retire and have to buy that cookbook, 72 Ways to Prepare Alpo, and love it. You savers need a spender in your life so you have a life. And typically what happens is the nerd, the one that is very organized, you know, the detail person, the underwear drawer is folded, must be on time, everything has a place, really enjoys for the bills to be paid on time. Late, oh, don't give me a late charge. Oh. How many of you are like me? I'm a nerd at my house. Or if you're the nerd at your house, raise your hand. Come on, be proud, nerds. Come on. You know, nerds are very precise. They're having to think about this for a moment. Maybe I am a nerd, and I wouldn't want to have a problem with my integrity. I'll have to think this through, you know. But nerds are very, very precise people, right? We have to have things the way they're supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I want my shirt tail to be tucked in just right. I looked in the mirror before I came out here. It's not perfect, and it's bothering me. You know, that's the way it is with nerds, right? That's how you do things. So the nerd likes doing the budget. It gives them this sense of power, this sense of control. Some nerds are real big-time control freaks, but all nerds are at least a little bit a control freak. You know what I'm saying? And we're actually going to introduce some folks to you. We're going to introduce the nerd. We've arranged to have a nerd visit with us tonight, and a free spirit too for that matter. But first, let me introduce you to our nerd for the evening. Dan is our nerd for the evening. Come out, Dan. That's funny, ha-ha. My team thinks that we need to dress the nerd like me. That's cute, guys. That's very cute, guys. I really like that. Now, thank you very much. All right, and the free spirit is the one that they don't feel cared for. We nerds think we're caring for everyone. The free spirit instead feels controlled. They feel told what to do. The free spirit is like, how many of you in here are free spirits? Raise your hand. See, they always start a wave. Woohoo! You know, they didn't hesitate. Yeah, baby, we're free spirit. Yeah, when's the break? Give me some refreshments. I'm a free spirit. You know, I'm sure glad this thing's funny. I was afraid it was going to be boring. You know, this is the free spirit, right? And the free spirit, they're mature. They're adults too. They just believe in having a thing called a life. They don't really get a high out of 3-generation spreadsheets. They don't understand. You know. They don't want to click the third tab over, and they don't want to spend hours and hours and hours looking at the details. They want to vote. They want to be part of the program. And Susan is going to be our free spirit for the evening. Come out, Susan. You all give Susan a big round of applause. So what happens is the nerd and the free spirit get married, but they don't really become one, do they? No. Instead, we start this fight thing. Because the first thing that'll happen is the nerd goes, oh no, I've married one of those. And the free spirit's going, you are a freak, you know? Get away from me, you Fruit Loop. You know? And this fight, this constant tension, some marriages go through this. This is real world, isn't it? Say yes. Yes. Some marriages go through this for decades and don't even realize there's all this tension in the air. They kind of just tolerate it, or they go to their corners and go, okay, you pay your bills and I'll pay my bills. We're not really married. We're just going to have a joint venture. And the nerd's like, you're too irresponsible. And the free spirit's like, you're too controlling. And we're just all this clash of the titans going on. And it doesn't make for a high-quality marriage. As a matter of fact, we just said this, it's the #1 cause of divorce. As opposites attract, and men and women are different anyway, when you put all of that in the soup with money, it makes a mess. But we figured out a way to solve it. It's called the budget committee meeting. It's your only hope for learning how to communicate. So here's what we're going to do. Those of you that are like me, and Dan, we're the nerds. Raise your hand, nerds. Okay. See, the nerds are like very precise. Right? So nerds, raise your hand again one more time. Good. All right, nerds. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do a budget. In the super saving lesson, when we said go home and do the quickie budget, you almost had it done before you got out of the parking lot. And you've already read 3 or 4 chapters ahead, and you know what I'm going to be saying next because you'd rather skip over the jokes and get to the point. Okay? And you're already filling out the evaluation in the back, you know? And you were told not to already, you know, but you can't help yourself. That kind of a thing, right? That's the nerd. So go ahead and prepare the budget, because if we wait on the free spirits, it's not going to happen. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? So prepare the budget, and we're going to teach you in the budgeting lesson how to do that, but the basics of budgeting is you spend every dollar on paper before the month begins. Every dollar has a name before the month begins. You prepare the budget. Now, then we call the budget committee meeting. Let's cover the rules for the budget committee meeting for the nerds first. Nerd, I want you to take the budget that you prepared, and I want you to set it on the table, slide it over to the free spirit, and shut up. That is rule #1. Shut up. The free spirits hear them. They are sick and tired of your preaching. They are sick of hearing, yeah, you got it. They're sick and tired of hearing Dave Ramsey say it. They're sick and tired of every mistake they ever made since 1962. You know? They don't want to hear any more of your theories. Shut up. It's on the paper. Slide it over. You've got a whole lot of opinions. They're right there on the paper. Let the free spirit look at it. Rule #2, nerds, is this is a meeting. It is not a weekend-long budget summit. When you are dealing with a free spirit, you have a 17-minute window. After that, their body may stay, but their spirit will leave. They're not going to hang out with you. Their eyes start to cross. They're not getting this. It's not fun for them. They don't enjoy this process. They're only there to have a vote. They're going to have their vote, and they're going to leave the voting booth. That's it. That's the whole deal from them. Now listen very, very carefully to me. If you are a nerd, there is one last rule, nerds. Listen very, very carefully. You must insist that the free spirit change some things in your budget. And the nerds are going, no! We don't want to change anything. It's right. If we change it, it will be wrong. I did it. It's right. We can't change it. Listen, nerds, we're tricking them to get them involved. All right, free spirits, raise your hand. All right, did I take up for you? Say yes. All right, so listen up, free spirits. You have a couple of rules for the budget committee meeting too. Rule #1, free spirits. You must come to the meeting. Rule #2, you must bring your brain. You have to give adult, mature input in the meeting. I want one isn't covered under that heading. You look at the budget and you go, honey, I think $1,800 might be a little high for green fees when we have $14 for food. And you make an adjustment there, like switching those two numbers. But you can't just go, I want more money for clothes. Okay, we're going to raise clothing by $200. That's fine, honey. Where's the $200 going to come from? I don't care. Who are you, the government? It has to come from somewhere, right? If we're going to raise a category by 200, we have to lower some others by the same amount. That's how this works. It balances. It's a neat concept. Okay, so adult-like input says you change some things around by raising a few and lowering some others by that same amount so that we still end up with a 0. And rule number 3, free spirits, if you will work with your nerds on this, you will have the best quality relationship of any marriage you know. You will run into people everywhere who are in awe of the communication level in your marriage. It will totally transform how you communicate. It will bring a level of unity, a level of oneness to everything that you're doing, and then you'll start to win financially. It's worth it. But free spirits, there's a phrase that you have been saying. This is your last rule. You can never again say this phrase. And you use it all the time. We know you do, especially we nerds know it. Sometimes you say things like, whatever you want to do, honey. Wrong cop-out breath. You have to get in the game and place your vote. You both have a vote. We come into agreement. That's called unity. Both place their vote. No, just...
You're smarter than me. You take care of it. I'm going to go over here and mess up your plan, though.
And that's what free spirits do too often. No, you've got to place your vote, and then when the budget is done, we pinky swear and we spit shake, and this is a lock, baby. We don't do anything except what's on the budget. That is a promise. That's a contract. And if we're going to do something different than what's on that budget, we have to come back and have an emergency budget committee meeting. Got it, free spirits? Say yes. Yes. All right, give Dan and Susan, our free spirits and our nerds, a hand. They're now working together.
I'm a free spirit. For me, being late is actually on time. Of course, this drives the number-crunching nerds, like my dad, crazy. If you're not sure if you're a free spirit or a nerd, maybe this will help. You know you're a free spirit when you wait until the night before to study for your final exam and your grade depends on it. When the teacher hands back your test, you ask your best friend for the 100th time what the letter grade is for an 89. Or you show up 10 minutes late to meet your friends at school so you can drive together to the away game. Not only are you late, but you have no idea that they're irritated with you. Does that sound like you? Okay, nerds, you're next. You're definitely a nerd when you already know your grade for government class when your teacher hands back your final exam. The teacher doesn't even know your grade yet. Or a group of you are splitting a pizza and you figure out what to charge each person based on the number of slices they eat. Or you panic because your alarm didn't go off and you'll be getting to school only 5 minutes before class starts. Ever hear opposites attract? Don't be surprised if your future mate is different than you. Understanding these things can really help you when you do things together, like doing a budget.